I am pregnant. So we are going to talk about what I did and how I trained and what I was doing for recovery and all of the details about the first trimester of pregnancy while powerlifting on a vegan diet on plants. Hello dear friends, this is Katya, the Vegan Powerlifter, and today I got news. Let's start with the preparation. My preparation for pregnancy was very minimal. I essentially was just drinking less alcohol and that was it. And then I quit drinking alcohol completely because that's not what you should be doing when you're trying to get pregnant. I think that's been something that impacted my lifting the most positively. So I just didn't want to stop. I didn't want to continue growing. So I went ahead and competed. I didn't know I would get pregnant so quickly. So technically I competed 3.5 weeks pregnant and I didn't even know. Because usually you learn about like after the first month, right? When you don't get your period. 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, 6 weeks in. So I weighed in at the competition. I was usually 74, 75. I competed in a 76 kilo weight category since I competed in a regional competition in Russia. They have a 76 kilo weight category. I didn't even have to cut weight. I was drinking a little less water the day before, but I weighed in at a 72.5 kilos. And my coach was like, huh? And I was like, huh? So anyways, things were off kind of since then. I squatted only 165 kilos, which is incredibly little for me, but judging was really strict. They didn't allow barbells to be really low on the back like I'm used to be doing it. And me and another athlete got called for the barbell being too low. So I kind of had to like put it, I don't know, 3-4 inches higher, a lot higher. They wanted it a lot higher. So I was doing a high bar squat basically while being a low bar squat athlete. I still won best lifter, but regardless, squat was shit. Bench was okay. Deadlift was okay. Benched 90 kilos, I think, or 92.5. I don't remember. You can watch the video recap from the competition. The link will be in the corner, and you can watch that after this video if you're curious about how it went. Deadlift was 190, so no problems there. But pushing movements, yeah, because if you're lower body weight, pushing movements are tough. So in terms of competition prep, didn't notice anything weird. In terms of preparing to get pregnant, I thought that would be much later. I thought while I'm starting to get into we are gonna be training less, no alcohol, taking folic acid, of course, and perinatal vitamins. I was only getting my mind into doing it like after I'm back from the competition, and I kind of felt nauseous on the train back and got tested, and there we have it. The question was, of course, I just competed, I'm gonna rest, but then what do I do when I come to the gym? I didn't feel weak, I didn't feel any weird things in the stomach, but there are precautions. Doctors caution pregnant women that they should be lifting much, much less in their first trimester because the baby's just attaching. You don't need to bother that process. It's really energy intense. So since I am an international level athlete and I'm used to lifting heavy weight, I was like, okay, let's start kind of tippy-toeing our way into lifting a little bit more and seeing like if I'm even a little bit uncomfortable, even a little bit exhausted. That wasn't the case. I still was using the belt the whole first trimester. Only when my belly started rounding a little bit, I got rid of the belt. So for the whole first trimester, I was using the belt, and I read the research for and against using the belt. I don't see the reason. Now I'm in my third trimester and I want to use a belt. I feel great. I don't understand what is the reason against using the belt, given the research for and against, if you have no side effects from it. By the way, this is not medical advice. None of this video is medical advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I am not an OBGYN. And I am just telling you my story and my personal views on the things and the way I did them. So, first trimester, I figured out that lifting up to like 55% max was comfortable for me. So I worked my way up to squatting about like 95 to 105 kilos, usually around 100 for, I don't know, sets of 5, sets of 6, and deadlifting about 120 kilos. So kind of by the end of it, as much as I could squat and deadlift comfortably without a belt. I was also not using knee sleeves because I don't really need knee sleeves for that weight. Benching all the way through, my coach was writing me a program for bench and I was still doing it because I got qualified for the Russian nationals, and I kind of had the program written after the competition. We were planning to go, and then I was like, yo coach, sorry, I'm pregnant. He's like, okay, cool, congrats. So I finished off the program, but there was like no point in writing bench anymore because I was not competing. Even though I talked to a couple powerlifting friends of mine from the US, they benched, but way into their third trimester, only until the belly started getting in the way. And they got rid of the lower body movements first. They got rid of squat and deadlift first, but bench was fine. So I was like, all right, I guess we're gonna bench forever. I don't know if you remember, I was talking about this in my previous videos, that I injured my shoulder this summer because I switched coaches, which is what I shouldn't have done, but my summer coach was teaching me how to bench with flared elbows using more chest, and I pulled a little bit of something in the anterior delt slash pec here in the front. So I was very happy to give the bench a break basically after the first trimester. Kind of going into the second trimester, bench kind of fell off and I decided to give it a rest because the MRI said I should, the doctor who deciphered the MRI said I should, the athletic doctor from my gym said I should. So why not? We're not competing. Bench will come back. It's okay. I have a strong back. So I just continued squat and deadlift and going to the gym either twice or 3 times a week, depending on the availability and other things that I needed to do. I've never really trained more than 4 days a week for probably since the end of bodybuilding. Yeah. I think it's just not necessary. So 3 days a week was kind of my standard. 4 days a week, only if I had to split it that way, but very rarely. So now I was like, I'm not competing. I will maintain my own strength and everything that I've got with just 2 days. If I can lift 3 days, amazing. If not, then whatever. So it's kind of nice to have that flexibility of like, oh, I don't have a looming competition over my head. Even though I realized that the skill of coming into the gym and just enjoying having fun and doing whatever was lacking. I couldn't really do that. I was like, okay, I squatted, I benched, now what? So essentially my workouts were alternating, either squat and bench or deadlift and bench. If I was at the gym 3 days a week, maybe I skipped bench once and did some other accessories for upper body. Usually for deadlift, there were some pulling movements like cable pulls, rows, lat pull downs. Sadly, very quickly, at the end of the third trimester, I could not do pull-ups anymore because that bothered my rectus abdominal, and I'm very cautious on not getting anything messed up there. If I feel like it's pulling too much, I'm just going to stop. So sadly, no pull-ups anymore. I miss them, but we have other ways of rows. We have barbell rows, T-bar rows, any bent over rows, any amounts of rows I will add to the deadlift workout, and any kinds of pushing movements I will add to the squat workout. So I will add shoulder press, seated, standing, anything shoulder, so delt raises, biceps, triceps. I don't do calves. I think it's pointless for most people, for me at least. So no calves, biceps also kind of just for fun. not much. And I never was really into doing abs, so no abs. I think abs are something to be done before pregnancy, well before pregnancy, because again, over tensing the core could result in diastasis recti. I do have a friend who was training abs all the way through almost like the end of her pregnancy before childbirth, and her baby was going feet forward. They couldn't rotate it because her abs were too tight. She's a bodybuilder. So she told me she probably overdid it on the abs. And then another friend of mine, also a bodybuilder, she's been doing abs before pregnancy, in the beginning of pregnancy, and her muscles, her rectus abdominals, she just felt it like zip, like a zipper, when she brought her hands up and did some kind of a quick movement at the house, not even at the gym. So overstretching the abs, not a good idea. I am very cautious about that. No abs, back, because baby will be in the front. My belly is growing in the front now, and I need extra support on the back if my front is pulling in this direction. So that's the main logic. I'm very sad that by the end of the 3rd trimester, it was not comfortable to do the back extension anymore. I really miss it. I really miss doing the prone leg curl. Also can't do it with the belly, and we don't have a seated one in the gym. Of course, I could do cable, like standard or seated, hamstring, but I just do deadlifts. It's really nice that I can do sumo deadlift with a big belly. I think sumo deadlift has been created for big belly athletes and pregnant people. Conventional deadlift, not so much. Plus, I hate it anyways, so who needs conventional deadlift? I essentially worked my way from 35% of my 1 rep max for like sets of 10 and 15, and I could do this forever, all the way to like 55% and maybe 65 even. I don't think that's general advice for everybody, but if you're comfortable with those numbers, great. If you're comfortable with a different percentage, great. The thing is, if you can lift, I don't know, a very small amount, I don't know, let's say barbell, let's say 20 kilos. I don't think you need to be calculating percentages of that. I think you can just kind of continue getting stronger and doing it all the way through pregnancy if you have been training with that before and if you feel comfortable. But if you can lift super insanely huge amounts, then you probably need to scale it down. So I feel like I've scaled my kilos on the barbell enough. My doctors don't feel that way, definitely. Because when I'm like, yeah, I'm only squatting like 100 kilos, I don't even say like 4 sets of 5. I don't even have time to say that because by the time I say I was squatting 100 kilos, they're already like pulling hair and getting super anxious and think that I'm insane. Plus I think that I'm insane because I'm vegan. And I'm telling them I take B12, I take folic acid, I take my omega-3s, I take zinc and ZMA, zinc magnesium, in the evening. So yeah, consult your doctor on the stuff that you should be taking vitamins-wise before pregnancy and during your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd trimester. But this is just what I am taking. I'm of course drinking protein because otherwise I would just not be able to have enough calories. My 1st trimester, I lost 3 kilos from 75 to like 72-ish because everything smelled horrible. I didn't want to throw up, but I kind of felt light, nauseous the whole time, and it just wasn't fun. That food smelled so intense. Food smelled incredibly intense, and I could only eat like cucumbers, avocados, rice, and things that were very plain. So I did drink protein. I had trouble eating nuts, so I probably wasn't getting too many fats. Peanut butter was okay. So yeah, anyways, each pregnant person will find the foods that they're like, ew, I can't eat that. So for me, there was a lot of chewy vegan meats and proteins. I didn't want to eat tofu. So I had to drink my shakes because I was losing weight. And most women lose weight in the 1st trimester, I found out. When I talked to my girlfriends who have given birth, they're like, oh, don't worry, you'll lose weight in the first trimester. Even though all the doctors were like, no, you should probably be gaining weight. Well, that wasn't the case when anybody I talked, like almost anybody. I think only one friend of mine was steady or gaining all the way through. So anyways, by the end of my third trimester, by the end of my first trimester, I was still less than when I started. And only by the end of my second trimester, I've regained the weight lost in the first trimester. So I'm thinking of lost muscle. Of course, the baby weight has added. There's a bump. The baby is a normal size, so I don't know why they're freaking out. Everything is fine. I feel fine. In the second trimester, the energy came back and I could lift more again. But yeah, anyways, here's advice for the people who have not trained and they're getting ready to get pregnant. Okay, you need to train your back ahead of time. You need to get your overall body conditioned so you can continue lifting through pregnancy. You don't have to continue lifting hardcore, of course, but maintaining some activity is recommended by all of the doctors in the world. The majority of doctors here in Russia, unfortunately, are not educated on like world level science. They don't read magazines that are in English. They're not updated on scientific literature that is recent. So what they recommend is taking walks, swimming, and doing yoga. And I'm like, yoga? I've only gotten injured doing yoga if I did it for an extended amount of time. No, thank you. Plus, I don't know, what white people did to yoga, I don't think it's yoga anymore. So I have trouble going to some studio where some Czech who took a course is teaching me how to do things. Yeah. Anyways, people who have not been training before, dear girls, train your backs. Train your glutes. Your glutes are the foundation of your back. You need to get your joints, your tendons and ligaments used to having load. You're going to be carrying your baby. You're going to be carrying your baby inside, and then you're going to be physically carrying the baby, right? You're going to have the boobs grown, and all of the things are going to draw your weight forward. So you need to make sure the back is strong so you don't get any pain. Get into a good training regimen. If you've never been to the gym, maybe start going to the gym. I don't think cardio is enough. I don't think yoga, swimming, and walking is gonna cut it anymore. If you have imbalance in your body, you also need to take care of that. You need to stretch whatever is too tight, and you need to strengthen whatever is too weak. Because the body changing so quickly without you kind of keeping track of things that could go wrong, you know, things are more likely to go wrong during pregnancy when you have a relaxin and the body can just ease into muscles pulling. You can get to the normal BMI if you can before pregnancy. That's definitely going to help. Work it up to having a good training volume before pregnancy, so your central nervous system is comfortable recovering from that. So when you're in the first trimester and when you want to throw up all the time and when you feel weak, you can maintain at least a fraction of that and then kind of work up to your normal training regimen during the second trimester, unless you have any precautions from the doctor not to do that. So that's what I would do. I think that's just the foundation. Okay, I also forgot to mention that my accessories have gotten a lot more varied. Before the competition, of course, we get rid of most of the accessories, unless they're like rows or triceps dips. For me, conventional deadlift, because I'm a sumo puller, so now my accessories are so varied, I'm like almost uncomfortable with that. Cable stuff, all kinds of barbell accessories. I like never do shoulders. I started doing shoulders again. That's pretty fun. I feel like a bodybuilder. So varying my accessories was kind of nice in the first trimester. It also seems easy because I can do that on a machine. I don't have to do like a full body movement. And when I felt weaker in the first trimester, that was a great thing. I also started going to the pool. The doctor recommended, cool, but I kind of just wanted to. So I was swimming once a week, usually, sometimes twice, but usually once a week, and training 2 to 3 times a week. And I have a husky. She needs walking. She needs a lot of walking. Of course, I'm getting my steps. I'm walking my dog. That goes without saying. If you don't have a dog, please don't just stop doing everything and walking your 10,000 steps a day. That goes without saying. That's a given. That's a default. That's a minimum standard that we have to maintain. I feel like I've said everything I wanted to say. When I was swimming, I don't have the watch that watches my pulse, but I was trying not to go super crazy sprint or anything like that. I was watching for my pulse not to go maybe beyond like 90%. I don't think I've even gotten close to that, but I would not recommend that. And in terms of a workout, I don't think I've ever surpassed going beyond like 15 reps on any exercise, like a heavy, like a barbell squat or bench press, and beyond RPE 8. Definitely not. I think I kept it like RPE 6 and below. If you're an RPE person, not a percentage person, that's what I still do in the third trimester. That goes without saying. A little bit about nutrition. There were almost no changes except for taking folic acid and perinatal vitamins and making sure I drink protein. I don't drink protein every day. I'm not used to that. I only drink it when I know I'm like, I'm too lazy to eat my tofu, so I just drink 2 scoops. During the first trimester, I drank protein almost every day because I knew I wasn't getting enough protein. And even with the shake, I probably wasn't getting enough protein. I probably was getting like 100 to 120 grams, which is little for me. I'm a 75 kilo girl. I am used to like 140 to 150 grams of protein a day. Yeah, that's what keeps me strong. So I probably lost some muscle mass, but you know what? To hell with it. I'm a human, and it's nice to remind, my therapist keeps reminding that we're all human and you don't have to be perfect. Plus now I don't have a competition looming over my head, so I can just kind of relax a little bit. The baby's getting enough protein. I'm getting enough protein for at least some muscle maintenance. And in terms of like excellent results, let's work on that after the baby's here and I recover, okay? I think that's everything I wanted to say about the first trimester. The next video is going to be on the second trimester, and it's going to be next week probably, so subscribe, drop me a comment on the questions that you have for my second trimester. That'd be really nice. If you want to get the vegan powerlifting starter guide, the link to buy the book will be in the description. Or I am still coaching people. You can apply for coaching or get any of the free or affordable resources for being self-coached on veganpowerlifter.com. Add the links in the description. See ya.
Who is these? Who is these? Are you helping me film the video? Thank you. Thank you.